BTS Army, Forever We Are Young Review. Emotional K-pop doc is often dynamite, but lacks depth. Kalgunmu is a term that combines Korean words for knife and group choreography to describe the precise dance moves that K-pop groups perform so effortlessly, akin to the clean cuts of a knife. These stars arrive fully formed on stage, seemingly perfect and unknowable, yet in the case of BTS, it was their humble beginnings as the underdogs of K-pop that uniquely gained them a fan base like no other. While other fandoms like Swifties or the Beehive number in the millions, ARMY is arguably bigger than any of them, not just in terms of size, but also impact. These 90 million fans and counting organized themselves early on to ensure success for the boys, taking BTS from a 200-person show at Hollywood's Troubadour to unprecedented global domination. In short, BTS is the most successful K-pop act, and ARMY the most powerful fandom that the music world has ever seen. As easy as it would be to list the group's many achievements, including all their sales and awards and even their Speak Yourself speech at the UN, it's arguably more impressive to look at what members of ARMY have accomplished, aka adorable representative MC for youth, all in the name of idol worship. In 2017, the fandom campaigned to end Justin Bieber's 6-year winning streak for Billboard's Top Social Artist Award with an unheard of 313 million votes for BTS, eclipsing Bieber's 23.1 million by a wide margin. A few years later, ARMY support for the BLM movement inspired BTS to issue a public statement and donate $1 million to the cause, an impressive amount the fandom then matched. During Trump's presidential campaign, the fans sabotaged a rally by block-booking the event to ensure there'd be swathes of empty seats. And the list goes on. This global collective, united purely by their love for BTS, are so powerful that they now have a movie of their own. Unlike the various BTS concert films that already exist, Forever We Are Young is billed as a documentary made by ARMY for ARMY. Certainly, the love for BTS is there in every frame. Peabody-winning filmmaker Grace Lee and scholar Patty On, who appears as a talking head throughout the doc, have crafted a love letter in motion to the Bangtan Boys. Aside from appearances by performance director Min Seong Kim and DJ Steve Aoki, whose remix of Mic Drop helped BTS first crack the US Top 40 in 2017, everyone interviewed is deeply involved in this world from a fan perspective, and the uninitiated might be surprised to find that the ARMY core isn't just made up of teenage girls. Indeed, Lee and On give voice to the entire spectrum of this fandom, which is as vast and diverse as our species itself. While the subjects skew more Western, Korean fans are involved too, including a dancer who exclusively teaches BTS choreography at her studio in Seoul. For Farida, an Indonesian woman who migrated to the States, the fact that BTS started out as an unknown band and worked their way up has resonated with her own life experience deeply. Then there's Norman, a gay Asian man who struggled with his sexuality and hated going to school, who recalls how lyrics about rebelling and going against the system helped him cope. There are plenty of other stories here about how BTS have inspired their fans, including a pair of Mexican friends who saw their queerness and gender identity through the way band members like Jungkook express themselves in public. A Hurricane Katrina survivor wells up discussing how BTS and their song, Epiphany, especially, redefined what masculinity can be for him, which touches on how Korean male celebrities express themselves differently than their counterparts in the West. There are intriguing threads to be pulled at in each case here, but Forever We Are Young is a little too wrapped up in admiration for the band to dig as deep as it could. Understanding more about the queer fan experience, for example, would have emphasized the unique way these former underdogs appeal to people who often deem themselves to be outsiders. And that would have been especially interesting in contrast to the lived-in experiences of queer Korean people who are struggling to live authentically in a country these fans have idealized through their love of music. Towards the end, brief lip service is given to the disparity between the polish of the K-pop industry and what life is actually like there, day to day. As the film itself observes, it's important to know that K-pop isn't the only story to tell about this country. Yet with so many fan stories to explore here, there isn't much space for any of those other stories to be told, or even to give the story of BTS impact the full context it requires. With that in mind, some extra material that went beyond the band's chronology and rise to fame would have deepened the doc considerably. Within that arc, guided through the band's own career trajectory, there's a fascinating moment where we see BTS break down on stage. After winning Artist of the Year at the 2018 Net Asian Music Awards, Mama, members of the group begin to cry and get uncommonly vulnerable, explaining that they'd even considered breaking up earlier that year. Clips of them struggling to keep up with the pace that global fame demands are briefly commented on by fans who had no idea what they had inadvertently put their faves through, no matter how well-intentioned they were in their efforts to make BTS a household name. "I always have mixed feelings about what we did to get them to Billboard and radio," says one fan, lamenting that perhaps success came too fast and at too high a cost. The film doesn't linger on this for long, however, and the same is true for a brief aside where we hear of high-profile fans getting cancelled by others in the same fandom. Despite all the good ARMY has achieved, every fanbase includes some kind of toxic element, but Lee and On mostly bypass such dissonance in favor of a more positive outlook. Is that through fear of backlash or simply because they count themselves among ARMY too and wish to focus on the many positives this fanbase has brought to the world instead? Without access to BTS themselves, Forever We Are Young focuses primarily on the feelings that fans project onto the band, and it's here where the film really excels. Some filmmakers would have found it all too easy to dismiss ARMY or refuse to take their fervor seriously, but Lee and On's closeness to the material is a huge strength in that regard. It's gratifying to see this doc uplift the passion of others without judgment, and anyone quick to dismiss that fervor will find little to love in this film. But for ARMY members and audiences open to the subject, there's something so joyous about the unabashed love on display here, be it through the cute graphics that pop up every time a fan reveals their favorite member, or when people from all over the world come together to dance as one to the exact same song. The synchronicity of their moves would make BTS proud, and it's likely that this film will make ARMY proud too, even if it lacks the precision of Kalgunmu choreography in some areas where it was needed most.